I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I fucked up. I may have made a $1,500 mistake. As you can see, the tie rod stud is just spinning with the nut. And after trying everything I could think of, there was only one option left. It was time to pull out the old Milwaukee Sawzall. I went through way more blades than I ever expected. I just barely made a fucking dent. But honestly, the grinder, it worked way better. I would be lying if I didn't say I was praying that the steering bar somehow wasn't tapered. It was basically just a pipe dream because otherwise I had no idea how I was going to get this out. It's definitely tapered. Son of a bitch, dude. Son of a bitch. I want to see how much I really fucked this up here. Well, as it turns out, I did a shitty welding job. So, pretty sure I didn't fuck up the taper or the metal on here, but I think I'm gonna have to fuck it up by punching it through. Before we get into it, if you enjoy watching me fix these old Jeeps and occasionally make things harder than they need to be, consider hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Well, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I fucked up by cutting that off. I mean, I had no other choice. But now I can't get this out, the stud out. Can't get the castle nut off, so I may have made a $1,500 mistake. But that's what this cost. Good news is I can buy a different one for $600. And then I gotta ream my knuckles out 7 degrees. So my plan is cut a notch here, deep enough to cut through the frickin' nut, and then hopefully the nut pops off. Ideally, I'd only cut through one side, so I cut half the nut off, and then I would just fucking weld it, and then cut a plate, weld it. Here goes nothing. I really didn't like the idea of cutting into the steering link just to get that castle nut off, but at this point, I didn't have much options. The plan was to weld the cut back together and then reinforce it with a 2x6 inch piece of 3/16 steel plate. Pretty sure I split it. And try punching this through. But unfortunately, I ran into some technical difficulties and the camera missed most of the bracket build. And I'll tell you, it feels solid, but I could definitely use a coat of paint, but that's gonna need to wait till I get back from the Alberta trip. So my original plan was to replace just the worn tie rod end because, well, I'm cheap. But after going through all this to replace the hardest one, I figured I might as well do the other three. They should all be a breeze after this. Okay, as you can see, we got the steering link out, the Y link as they call it. Now I gotta loosen these jam nuts, pull off the tie rod ends, put new ones on. But before we do that, we're gonna take measurements of where things need to go. You know what I mean? And then make sure it's close. And then we'll install it, and then we'll do the wheel alignment. 41 and 3/16. 41 and a half.
So I would say 2 more rotations. Oh, that's in there fucking good. Off to the vice we go. Four and 1/8.
With the tie rod ends finished, it was time for the steering stabilizer. When I installed the old one 5 or 6 years ago, it must not have come with this metal sleeve because the rubber bushing was pretty worn out. And of course, the new stabilizer didn't come with one either, so I had to buy a sleeve separately.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I caught the install on camera because I haven't looked and my camera was off. So I must have burned the battery. Got the steering components in, tie rods in, steering stabilizers in. But now I gotta go make dinner. So I'll go make dinner and get back out here, do the alignment, and finish the job.
The plan was to come back after dinner and finish the alignment, but honestly, I'm exhausted. It's getting late. I had to work the next morning, and the alignment could wait for another day. Well, that's it for this video, folks. Thanks for sticking around and watching it to the end. I really appreciate you. I've only got one more weekend before this Alberta trip, and I'm getting a little nervous that I won't have the Jeep ready in time. I still need to do the fuel pump and the wheel alignment. But there's no point stressing out over it. I'm just going to keep on pushing forward. Once this Alberta trip is over, we'll finally get back to doing some more camping and adventure content. We're heading out to an abandoned mine site, and I'm looking forward to showing you what we find. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one.